We are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is indeed the golden age of America. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons that are so powerful that we just can't ever use them. If we ever use them, the world literally might come to an end. There would be no United Nations to be talking about. There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens. This is unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust. And it's a world that we'll be much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to confront some of the greatest threats in history. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon. That's why shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program. The regime's answer was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region and some great countries that are right nearby. Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything. No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest weapons on earth. We hate to use them. But we did something that for 22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict,
Wow! President Donald Trump has sent shockwaves through the United Nations General Assembly. With confidence and fire, he declared to world leaders, "The United States is the most powerful nation on earth, militarily the strongest, economically the richest, more powerful than any country in the world." But imagine if this same confidence was spoken not by Washington, but by Africa itself, united under one leader, one vision, one voice. Imagine Captain Ibrahim Traoré standing at the UN podium, representing a united Africa of 1.3 billion people, declaring, "I am here as the president of the richest country called Africa Strong, powerful, the home of humanity, the land that feeds the world." Trump's speech was bold. He reminded the world that the United States has unmatched military strength. He said America's economy is the most powerful on the planet. He said the U.S. is richer than any other country. And then he dropped a bombshell. Trump warned illegal migrants they will be jailed, returned to their home countries, or something else.
Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
What did he mean by something else? Leaders in the audience shifted in their seats. Was it a threat? Was it a coded warning? The world was left wondering. But as Africa, what did we feel watching this? Pride? Fear? Or maybe a challenge? Because while Trump boasts of American power, Africa, the richest continent in resources, the youngest continent in spirit, still appears weak because of one problem: disunity. If Africa were united, our president would stand there and declare, "We are the strongest. We are the richest. We are the future." Africa is the home of humanity. Africa feeds the world gold, diamonds, oil, gas, cobalt, lithium, cocoa, food. Without Africa, the global economy collapses. Yet, divided, we look powerless. Now picture this: Captain Ibrahim Traoré at that same UN podium, young, brave, fearless, representing Africa not as 54 weak, divided states, but as one united powerhouse. He says, Africa is no longer a colony. Africa is no longer begging. We are here as the United States of Africa, with one army, one currency, one vision. We are strong, rich, and ready to lead humanity into the future. Can you feel the electricity? The world would not laugh at Africa anymore. The world would fear Africa, respect Africa, admire Africa. Trump went further. He even said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars.
For ending wars in the world. But here's the reality. No Nobel can bring peace if Africa remains exploited and divided. Africa's mission is bigger. Our mission is not about prizes. It's about justice. It's about breaking free from neo-colonial chains. It's about restoring the dignity of a continent that gave birth to all humanity. Trump warned migrants with chilling words: jail, deportation, or something else. But what about Africans fleeing hunger, poverty, and conflict? If Africa was united, would our youth risk drowning in the Mediterranean? Would our doctors, engineers, and farmers be forced to leave home? The truth is simple. Africans leave because our leaders are weak. But under a united Africa, under leaders like Traoré, we would not be running away. Others would be coming to us. The world would line up for African visas. So yes, Trump shocked the UN, but the bigger shockwave is waiting. The day Africa rises, the day Africa unites, the day a leader like Traoré declares at the UN, "We are Africa strong, rich, and powerful." Brothers and sisters, the future belongs to us. But unity is the key. Without it, we remain divided and weak. With it, we shake the world. The time for Africa's Trump moment is now. The time for Traoré's voice is now. The time for one Africa is now.
Thank you, Africa. Mama